Earlier this year, my friend Taylor moved in with my boyfriend Charlie and me. Taylor and I worked together and became really close friends. I introduced him to my boyfriend, and now the three of us have friends. However, I'm closer to Taylor than my boyfriend because Taylor and I have bonded over similar traumatic experiences. The other day, Charlie and I left for a weekend trip. Taylor agreed to take care of our dog while we were away, which we were happy about. Charlie and I have a security camera in our bedroom. This camera is aimed at the bedroom door and bathroom door. We have a bathroom attached to our room. Minutes after we left, we got a notification that there was motion in our room. We checked the cameras and saw Taylor just standing in our room. Over the next 30 minutes, he went in and out of our room about 7 times. It's important to know that up until this point, we have sincerely valued privacy. We never go in his room unless he states it's okay, and vice versa. So we were surprised to see him just walking in on his own. The 8th time he went in our room, we saw him go over to my dresser and dig through my panty drawer. He picked out a pair of panties, pulled down his boxers and pants, put my panties on, and then his boxers and pants back on over it. A few minutes later, he returned wearing one of my tank tops when he noticed the camera. He slowly backed out of the room, but then he returned later and continued digging through my panty drawer. He returned multiple times later to dig through my panties. All of this recorded and saved on video. Seeing how he invaded our privacy and wore my underwear made me feel sick and needs to be addressed. We don't want to make Taylor feel ashamed for cross-dressing, but what he did to my clothing was disgusting. I know as soon as we get back home, I'm going to throw away all my underwear and Charlie's going to install a deadbolt to our bedroom door. We don't feel comfortable confronting him about it until we return home and are able to deadbolt the door. Would I be the asshole if I made him pay to replace all my underwear and pay for the hardware for our bedroom deadbolt? Part 2 of wanting my roommate to pay to replace my panties. Taylor also went in my nightstand to look at and handle my adult toys, and he dug through my hamper to presumably look for used underwear. When we confronted him, Taylor denied everything. Despite the fact that we had it all on video, he tried to make up different reasons why he was there, tried to downplay it, said he only came to look around, and then said he doesn't even remember entering our room. We told him he could either move out, go to therapy, or we could move out and he would have to find new roommates. He basically told us no. He said we had no authority to kick him out and that blackmailing him with the videos was illegal. Unfortunately, he was on our lease, so there wasn't much we could do without taking legal action. So we got to work. We started looking for a new place to live, started looking for a lawyer, filed a police report, and made plans to file for a restraining order. But every single day I was constantly anxious at work and fearful in my own home because it was clear that he had absolutely no remorse. After about a week with no sleep and constant fear, I finally spoke to my boss about the situation. My concerns were taken seriously and they immediately began taking steps to help me. I showed them the videos and they agreed that his actions were completely unacceptable and, due to the nature of our work, he's considered a liability and a danger to other employees. They made sure I was in a safe place before they suspended him while they investigated him. During his suspension, I met with my bosses where they continued to support me and ensure my safety. They also made plans to terminate him as he also had multiple negative performance reports. So this whole deal was a nail in his coffin. However, Taylor quit before they had the chance to fire him. The day after he quit, he got all of his crap out of the apartment and signed documents removing himself from the lease. He has not attempted to contact me since. This whole situation has been extremely emotionally draining. It has caused a lot of painful memories and emotions to resurface. Looking back on our friendship now, I can recall multiple red flags in which he crossed clear personal boundaries I set. I can't believe he was ever someone I trusted and loved like a big brother. But for now, he's out of our lives and I'm relieved. I'm still living with my parents, but I plan on moving back as soon as the apartment locks get changed.
Embarrassing story time about how my dad caught me making out with my best friend because of my toxic boyfriend. Disclaimer, this is not my story time, I'm sending me on Instagram. Okay, I've been with my boyfriend for about 2 years and he's pretty toxic. He constantly judges everything about me. My body, my hair, my face, the way I dress. Like, he's always been a little mean, but recently he's gotten even worse. I just turned 18 and for my birthday I really wanted to have a fun time. I wanted to have a party for my birthday. The day of my birthday, my boyfriend showed up 2 hours late. Now, he says that he was busy at work, but I knew he wasn't working. I confronted him, but all he did was get really angry at me. And I told him that if he was going to be like that, then he needed to leave because I wanted to enjoy my birthday party. So this man actually left. The following day, he comes over to my house begging me for forgiveness. We started to kiss and suddenly he tells me that I'm a bad kisser. Then he starts shaming me for about 20 minutes about how small my lips are and that I've never been a good kisser and that I need to practice with someone else and not him. At first, I believed him because I'm like, okay, he's my first boyfriend and I really haven't made out with anybody. But then I thought, maybe he's just doing this to be mean because he doesn't want to be with me. He decided to ignore me for 2 days. I would call and text and he wouldn't answer. I even showed up to his house. A little about my dad. He really hates my boyfriend. He has seen some of his behavior and always tells me to break up with him. Now, my best friend, she hates him even more. She's convinced that he's cheating on me, but honestly, I have no proof. I couldn't get it out of my head for the next few days what he was saying about me being a bad kisser and that I had small lips. So I started looking into getting lip filler. And I decided to call my best friend and ask her for her advice. She came over and we were just talking for a little bit. That's when I asked her if I could just make out with her for a second and she could tell me if I was a bad kisser or not. Now I know this sounds really, really bad, but my best friend and I are so close. Like, she understands what I'm going through and I knew that she would say yes, which she did. At first it was kind of awkward, but then I just did it. After I kissed her, she said that I was not bad and that my boyfriend was the one that was lying. 2 days later, I went and got my lip injections. Mind you, this whole time my boyfriend is still ignoring me. I waited 4 days for my lips to heal and then I showed up to my boyfriend's house. When he saw me, he said I actually looked a lot better and that I made the right decision to get the lip filler. But then this man actually tells me to leave his house because he was gonna go out with his friends. I went home and invited my best friend over. I needed someone to talk to and vent to. Then I asked her if I could kiss her one more time just to see how my new lips feel. And right then, my dad walks into my bedroom. We quickly separated, but he just stared at us. He was shocked. Then he sat down on the bed and told me that he was actually happy because it meant that I was leaving my boyfriend. That's when my best friend and I started laughing and told him that no, that was not the case. I told my dad the truth about how my boyfriend's ignoring me and about the lip filler. My dad's disappointed in me for getting the lip filler and that I need to let go of my boyfriend. Later on, I hung out with my boyfriend and he confirmed that I do kiss better. But now he's asking me to do other things to my face. Honestly, I don't know what to do, and my dad's mad at me.
Story time about how I almost got kidnapped by my online boyfriend. So a little background information, I was 16 and in 11th grade. So a year before this all happened, I posted a picture on Instagram saying, add me on Snapchat if you want to be friends. Yes, I was that person. Anyway, so this really cute guy adds me on Snapchat. And after about 3 months talking, he said that he wants to meet me in person. And he didn't sound sus at all, so I was like, sure. So we met at this park that was like 30 minutes away. And we met there around 6 o'clock, so when the sun was setting. And he was super nice. It was super romantic. Well, then we went to his house. We watched a movie and we did the nasty. So after that, he asked me if I want a drink. And what I could have swore was 20 minutes later, I wake up in an abandoned farm shed with no clothes or anything. So I start screaming my head off. I don't have my phone or anything, so I start to run. And then he grabs me. He says, if you try to run or you try to scream, I am going to kill you. Like for part 2 about how I almost got kidnapped by my online boyfriend. So like I said, I wake up in this abandoned farm shed. I don't have no clothes. I don't have a phone. So I try to run and he grabs me. He says that if you run, I will kill you. So I was like, okay, fine. What do you want from me? So he starts putting on lingerie and tells me to also put some on so we can take pictures together. What the actual you know what? So after that, he starts crying and he starts telling me his whole life story and how he's not who I think he is. Turns out that he's 32 and he just goes online pretending that he's 17 years old. So I just try to comfort him, right? It ends up working. He brings me my clothes, tells me to run, or else he's going to once again kill me. So I run, I go to this gas station, get picked up by the police, find my parents. Luckily for me, I paid attention to where everything was. He was arrested, he's still in prison to this day, and I got grounded for 3 months.
Am I wrong for asking my girlfriend not to eat so much? I know the title sounds bad, but this is a pretty specific situation, so please hear me out. I, 26 male, have been dating a woman we will call Ashley, 26 female, for about 3 months. Ashley grew up financially well off and relatively privileged and has been a point of friction in our relationship, with her not understanding/grasping the level of poverty I and my family grew up with. It is also relevant to the story that Ashley is a heavier person and is a very vocal advocate for body positivity and will very assertively stand up to anyone fat-shaming herself or others. The other person who is relevant to the story is my grandma, who is 70 years old. My grandma is a wonderful woman, but she is both very proud and very broke. She likes to have us over for dinner and is an excellent cook, but financially, she can't really afford it. She refuses to take any money from me or anyone else and won't let anyone bring food, saying it's her responsibility to take care of the family. She also takes offense if you turn down the invitation. About a month ago, we had dinner with her, and Ashley liked the food so much, she went back for a second and a third large portion. This is not done in my family. We all take a single small portion, as the leftovers are what my grandmother has to eat for the week, so Ashley taking more meant my grandma didn't have anything to eat for the rest of the week. After the dinner, I explained this to Ashley and she was shocked. I tried to bring my grandmother food, but she refused the charity out of pride. My grandmother has invited us for dinner again this weekend. Before we go, I tried to have a discussion with Ashley, reiterating my grandmother's financial situation and asking that she try to only take a single smaller portion so my grandmother can have food for the week. I said we can go eat again after the meal if she was still hungry. Ashley got very angry at this and said she will not be shamed for her eating and she will not limit her food and that no one other than her decides when she's had enough food. She also said I was fat shaming her. This whole ordeal has highlighted a lot of incompatibility issues and I don't know if the relationship is going to last, but just want some other opinions on this if I'm the asshole. So am I wrong for asking my girlfriend to limit her eating? No, bro, your poor grandma needs to eat too, man. Have some sympathy.
Am I the asshole for telling my girlfriend she basically stole from me when she went grocery shopping using my credit card while I was asleep? I, male 27, have been with my girlfriend, female 24, for 7 months. We don't live together and she has sleepovers at my place regularly. She spent the night at my place and in the morning while I was sleeping, she got up, got dressed, took my credit card and went grocery shopping with it. I woke up to a massive breakfast made by her as a surprise. When I asked her how she got the money and time to prepare all that, she told me she took my credit card while I was asleep, and that she headed to the supermarket to get the stuff she needed to make me a surprise breakfast. I was stunned. I asked why she didn't wake me up before taking my credit card, and she said I was sleeping and she didn't want to bother me, plus this was supposed to be a surprise.